Alright, guys. I'm sure you're still, surprised. How could I possibly have tipped my toes in 33 communities? You can't even count that high. Alright? I would imagine an average person cares about 10 communities, and an average YouTuber or influencer has to go all in into just one thing and be known for one thing. They could, spread their awareness and care about three additional things, or because they're still people, they're still humans that have to spend time on something. So, and technically there's some overlap, but I don't care about that part. Uh, you can say like you're a big gamer and there's multiple gaming communities or whatever. Um, but let's go into the second part of the third part. Yes, I just shove 33 in your faces. Not because I'm a 33-degree Mason. It's just that's the age of Taylor Swift and also the amount of communities for some reason. The magic continues. I hate it. Please stop. Well, anyways, right now we can actually officially be celebrating the birthday. I was actually releasing the video a little bit too early, but now it works. As you can see, it's December 12th when I first started this nonsense. Uh, Anyways, I will recap later on everything because I'm sure that's quite interesting to see the full picture really quickly. But we have 11 more communities. Yes, I reviewed 12 at first, but if you want to split this evenly, I think 11 more is fine. Then 10 plus recap seems perfect. So let's see what we got here. So we start off with big YouTubers. Oh wait, no, rewind. All right, here we go. So big YouTubers first. Oh, by the way, these categories are like weird. At this point, we're getting somewhere weird for no reason because there's no particular order to begin with. But it's weird because it's very difficult to explain what it is. And the reason why I didn't separated PewDiePie and MrBeast. They have a lot of subscribers. They could have their own communities technically, but I don't care. I just bunched them all together because I'm much more excited about them being compared with each other than breaking YouTube's metagame and who rules YouTube at this point, who's the top dog and who's known for the face of YouTube technically, the starting point. That's what big YouTubers kind of represent, and it doesn't really matter what their content is. Their content is like the explanation of what truly works on YouTube and what's the trendy thing to do, almost. But even that's a little bit of a stretch. Big YouTubers are just simply there to break currently set records between each other, and that's kind of the only fascinating thing. It's almost like, what kind of new award is YouTube gonna give for achieving 200 million subscribers and some bullshit like that? That makes absolutely no sense anymore. But it's so weird. Because the records keep on breaking. Like MrBeast and PewDiePie actually try to do an opposite record where PewDiePie tries to get most dislikes and MrBeast tries to get most likes. It's kind of fascinating that they know what they're doing. They are trying to be the biggest YouTubers, and it just turns into some kind of weird category just for that reason. It's almost like they figure out how to exploit YouTube as a system. That's the theory, at least, and it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense that MrBeast and PewDiePie don't really actually have identities because they're trying to do a lot of things. MrBeast is doing React, doing gaming, doing kind of like vlogging, but challenges and then social experiments. And it's like, what the? You can't mix all these things together and call it a community. That's weird. So I just bunched them all together, and I think it works very well, actually. Because if I split them apart, guess what's going to happen? We're going to have 34 communities, and we can't allow that to happen, unfortunately. At some point, you become so big that you're too big to actually be defined as something as well. Because potentially you just have to try and be doing a lot of things at once and reach a lot of people, and people are interested in different things. So that's the only way you can do that. Book review, that's how you do it, obviously. Anyways, let's move on to card games. Hearthstone is a broken card game. I don't want to highlight it. I would rather highlight Elder Scrolls Legends. It's so much more satisfying because game balance. I don't know how many times I have to say game balance during these videos, but literally that's how my memes are called. They're just called game balance. Alright? Game balance, game balance, game balance. Have I mentioned game balance? Because for some reason it's like the scariest phrase or combination of words for a game developer. Yeah, and they just care about like graphics, and they sometimes even forget about updating the game. Like Skyrim, for example, which I actually forgot to mention when I talked about RPGs. I should have definitely talked about Skyrim and how messed up it is. But kind of like my memes sum up the idea behind it. That creatures kind of look the same but have such dramatic difference in power level that it just makes less and less sense as the deeper you go into the game. And I probably just like completed just 10% of the game. I explored almost the entire map, but some creatures are just impossible to beat, and the game just kind of collapses because of game balance. And it sucks so bad, man. Like, every RPG should be completable no matter which difficulty you choose, simply because your character gets stronger and stronger over time. So eventually you can beat at least half of the game. Maybe the rest of the half of the game is a little bit too difficult, no matter what level you are. But the first half should be fine. You just need to invest a lot of time into upgrading your character and learning how the game works. And that's fun, dude. That's what I want. I don't care how long I have to struggle and how much times I have to die. All I want is to be able to achieve something. And Skyrim works to some extent, but it could be so much better. So much better, dude. They didn't even put much thought into difficulty settings. They just made legendary difficulty very difficult. Like 4 times difficult than the second difficulty setting. Like 4 times, maybe even more, dude. Like, the multipliers are out of control. And it's still kind of possible to play the game, which is still weird, because then it becomes ridiculously difficult and impossible very quickly. So it's a very interesting concept. But now, when it comes to card games, game balance matters even more, because that's literally all you're doing is kind of playing with math to begin with. Even though game balance matters everywhere all the time. But in this case, it feels really bad if something is like broken and doesn't make sense. You want every single strategy to work to some extent. And that's why I highlight Elder Scrolls Legends, because you can play you can come up with so many decks and they just work and you have no problems playing it. Yes, they might not be competitive, but it's just fine. Because card games are supposed to be about memes, about fun ways to interact with the same stuff all the time. and it's beyond just being like a chess game, because card games are ridiculously unpredictable and random. All right, you can sometimes generate random cards, have random outcomes. These are digital card games. This is not just uh, the old school card games that we used to play when we were kids. At least I used to play. I grew up basically with card games. Like, card games is the core of my identity. One of the biggest, communities that I belong to, and I invested hours and hours, and I think it's so big that it could potentially be split into multiple communities by itself. It also uses a lot of data. It collects a lot of data. Actually, I probably didn't even link. Oh, that would be a terrifying thing, dude. The moment I do this, data community is gonna blow up, man. Because Hearthstone has a lot of points. That's a scary one. I don't know what to do about this one. But I look up into data a lot, simply because it matters. It matters which decks are, viable. But Hearthstone just sucks, man. Just the idea that certain decks are more viable than others is a little bit weird. It's always going to be the case where some cards are better than others, and the game cannot be fully balanced, but that should be the focus and not just printing more cards. So technically, even though Hearthstone is being updated, I still consider Elder Scrolls Legends not only better, but better for new creators who want to make card game content. Because if you just make Hearthstone content, nobody's gonna watch it. But nobody's actually making Elder Scrolls Legends content. So, I definitely would suggest you do that. Well, I will do it as well. You know, very motivating. Most of my watch time comes from Elder Scrolls Legends right now, which is fascinating. Why would that be the case? If this game is not being updated and nobody really cares about it, Well, there's not enough competition apparently either. And I'm also quite smart when it comes to card games. So adapting and enjoying an actually fair game, well, that's fantastic. Well, this meme highlights how unfair Hearthstone is, where you can just play one card and just beat the entire army of effort, basically. It makes no fucking sense. Let's just move on. So, yes. When it comes to... This is where you get to learn game balance by playing card games. This is almost like a must play for every game developer out there. Must get it. I even heard Todd Howard is the creator of Skyrim, technically the director, plays Hearthstone. I'm not sure how much, but I've heard, so, and it makes total sense to me. Because, like, uh, I think he's behind Elder Scrolls Legends too, like, right? Why would you not play Hearthstone? It's literally a fucking clone of the game. But it's so much better because it has so much more depth and more strategy, and most importantly, it comes from just being more fair. Alright? And the fact that it's not constantly rotating and adding new cards. Because Hearthstone actually is not adding that many new cards because it takes cards away at the same time. So Hearthstone, I don't think it's improving that much. Also, it has another aspect which makes this community, the card game community, bigger than you actually can imagine. Because there's so many game modes that you can do with card games that just like, what are you talking about? Battlegrounds Auto Battler with cards? What is that? So I feel like card games gonna evolve into something we can't anticipate anymore, but it might split into multiple communities because Battleground feels like a completely different game, or different section of Hearthstone whatsoever, and that's weird. Even like different game modes like Tavern Brawl and Arena feel quite different from the main game. So, for me, this is no longer just a game. It's like quite an amusement park. It's so weird. There's way more content than any other game out there. Card games, guys. I didn't add it like free roaming. What is the category like GTA 5? I'm gonna be playing Saints Row as well, so I don't know what category that is. That feels like a new category entirely. So I'll have to think about it too. Because Saints Row was for free yesterday or whatever. Alright. Discord, boys. So I found this girl in the most awkward place, which is Onision on Discord. The dude that everyone hates. By the way, I checked Onision's channel and he did not upload anything else but the song that's called Onision is Dead, which is very appropriate. I know he cannot control himself and poke his head out anyways, so that makes sense. But now it's like 2 months since Onision is gone, and he seems to, keep his promise at the very least. It's quite unusual for such an unstable mindset to not break promises at this point. But this is much more than that. We're talking about Discord here, not what we're gonna talk about very soon. That involves Onision specifically. This is different because this has to become a little bit bigger than what it is. Discord technically doesn't seem like a community. It's more of an extension of already existing communities. But I feel like Discord is much more than you think. Yes, I have been banned pretty much from all Discords that I went into that have moderators. For some reason, I step on traps and press all the buttons, and eventually I get myself kicked out because, I deal too much emotional damage just for fun, guys. That's what I do for fun. I just do emotional damage. What else am I gonna do? I cause havoc, But it's not even that. I just talk. I just try to interact. I just try to keep the Discord channel alive. And I guess a zombie does not want to be alive. It wants to be dead all the time. And wants to make growling noises and eat brains. Being alive is not what a zombie intends to do, unfortunately. So, the funniest ban was like, I was banned from YouTubers Unite Discord channel, which is like, you do realize I'm a YouTuber, so you're gonna just disrespect me like that, you know? If I'm willing to talk and interact, like, I'm also willing to create content consistently. So, and I do every day now. Every day I make one video. I'm a YouTuber, guys. Unite. So, what's the point of uniting? And obviously nobody even cares about each other whatsoever. If I cannot actually freely express my opinions, which were not even that offensive, the last thing I did was copy and pasted this principle. So if you're gonna flip a table just because you see a principle, I mean, you deserve to live in a rat-infested area, basically, where you have no rest. Because you see a good thing, something that makes sense to me deep down that I follow as a principle, which says all evil has to be stopped because you don't know how big it is. So, I'm sure evil people would be scared to see that one. Oh boy. I don't want to see that. So, however, Discord has that fascinating quality where you can actually find out if someone is moral or not. I can find out in less than an hour, because that's how fast I get banned on average, I guess. Antvenom and Onision are like the most moral people. I'm not gonna explain who Antvenom is. He's a Minecraft YouTuber. So far, these guys are the most moral because they spend the most time in their Discord until I got banned eventually. For, kind of reasonable reasons, I guess. I can kind of understand. Onision also has a very cool rule where he just says no drama. Having one rule is kind of makes sense, but I extended my one rule into like don't ruin my day rule, or if you make me feel really bad and just keep flooding the channel and try to just ruin my experience, like of course I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna try and stop you, but I can show you guys I have nobody banned in my Discord right now. I had like 3 people banned, but then I realized they're not gonna come back. They're gonna think they're banned forever. And if they come back, that means they care so much about me. Wow. So, there's no reason to keep someone banned. You can ban them for a certain amount of time, but there's no reason to keep people banned for too long. There's actually a lot more reason to care what they have to say, interact with them, like them for whatever they care about. Like, all that stuff. Make sure that everyone is cared for, not just completely ignored, just because they kind of seem a little bit creepy. I'm not even, like, toxic. Toxicity is almost, like, allowed on Discord. I'm just, like, a creepy person who would just be a little bit more influential than a normal person. And that just feels bad for most influencers. They don't want to deal with other influential people. That just feels bad, dude. Obviously they're not going to be like, say no if a person has an army behind them. If I had 1 million subscribers, they would think otherwise when banning me, because they know they can't really do that. But when I'm influential and I don't have the resources to come back, basically, and haunt them, they don't think twice banning a person like that. So that's as far as I've been able to go and understand this concept of just fake and bullshit authorities and immoral behavior. But that's how fucking deep and awesome Discord is when you fully try to explore it from my perspective, at least. I don't know what the bootlickers are doing these days and what kind of value they get from Discord, but I feel very satisfied, even sometimes if I just get kicked out of the community, because then I just realize, you suck, dude. You're a loser. For mistreating me like that, Because in the end, emotional damage is just the best resource for growing. And if you try and dodge all the bullets of all kinds, what's the point, man? Just stay away from the internet if you can't handle it. It's that simple. Just let me talk to nothingness for 20 minutes and just forget about me. But no, they choose to ban. Because they can't help how much power they have. The exploitation is everywhere. Like, if you play Hearthstone, if there's a deck that is getting out of control, people gonna play that deck. They're not gonna think about it twice. They just want to win by all means necessary, just like everyone wants to exploit YouTube to get as many subscribers and views, not realizing that they just might ruin their own lives by doing so. But nobody cares. Because they think they can turn things around, but there's going to be a transition, alright? And again, I encourage people to have Discords if they're doing YouTube seriously. It's very much necessary, but it's just going to expose them if they are immoral. So think twice before you create a Discord, okay? Because you have to follow a lot of moral rules to make sure that everyone's happy and everyone's maxed out in how much they invest into your Discord and how much they care about it. You can ignore all of these people they're just useless to me. And the girl still exists, the highlighted girl. Uh, she's probably now like top 140, not that relevant anymore. But it's 132. It's fine. Um, yeah. And she went into YouTube Rewind for a reason, but may be forgotten if she'll never respond and care about notifications, which she complained about. And I'm like, yeah, you don't need notifications, but please check out Discord from time to time and say hi. Because now I'm here. I was gone for a year, but now I'm here. And she's not gonna care? I don't know, dude. It feels really bad when you just invest, and it just goes down the drain and just like, oh, okay. Okay, that's another way to ban me, but whatever. So, let's look into movies. So we wasted 25 minutes already. Oh, wow. I only found one good movie, but as it comes from as a part of investigating communities, you just kind of take the best thing you can get, regardless, and you're not really phased out by that. Just like most people don't play Elder Scrolls Legends for some reason, they think the best thing is the most popular one, which is Hearthstone. Just like the most popular game is Minecraft, and people are just overlooking other sandbox games, which sandbox, that's what it is. But we call it Minecraft right now because there's nothing else competing against it, so it sucks, man. And there's no Minecraft 2 or whatever, even though it wouldn't actually change anything. But yeah, you tip your toes into a community simply to take what you want and then you leave. That's how you use communities. There's no such thing as a community. You're not gonna take it over anyways, unless you lose your mind over it and you can't get out. Then the other best thing to do is try and take over uh, your prison cell, basically. No problem there. But that's it. Take whatever you can get, whatever you're passionate about, and don't explore too much because you're not gonna find anything. Though you need to know how to generate passion, and then you will start visiting communities that have things that you want. Because Victoria Justice doesn't just have TV shows, she's an actress. She also makes some music. So she appears in like 3 communities. Into movie community as well. I might even watch her movie soon. The newest one. I can't wait. She's such a cool person. Top 25 after all. Anyways. I still couldn't find anything better than Scott Pilgrim. And you must understand why I love this concept so much. First of all, it's a relationship movie, which every movie somehow has to be. But it is also quite a challenge to get that relationship, like straightforward challenge where a person needs to have skill and ability to battle other men, basically, and have like superpowers of some kind. But Scott Pilgrim, the main character, never really gets any superpowers. He gets to just explore and use like a cheeky way here and there to beat his opponents in the end. Kind of like abuse the opponent's weakness. So I guess his main superpower is just simply finding out more and more about his opponents over time until they crack and fall apart, which is kind of fascinating to me. Like, there's nothing like this. This is like even better than Matrix or whatever. Probably the second best movie that I care about, and I watched multiple times. But there's nothing like it. a comic book movie, but not about heroes, about relationships. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? There's nothing like it whatsoever. And it's filled with battles and action. And again, romance. Trying to fight for the girl's heart. Trying to reach that goal. And being kind of twisted with another relationship. Like, and making special choices. And again, exploring this new world, which is open to you. The fact that you can actually pursue that relationship and you're not immediately banned, and you know what to do, you know what your opponents are. Like, there's so much flavor, and because it's kind of like it's not just comic book feeling. It's more like it has the gaming vibe as well. So it can have even more flavor than a usual movie. So I don't think anything comes close when it comes to this concept. And if it's now 12 years I'm waiting for something like that. If someone knows a movie like that, please tell me, guys. It's gonna be the greatest pickup line of all time. I'm gonna use it on every girl and win their hearts. Because I don't think there's anything better than this movie right now. And because it's so old, it's not a pickup line anymore. People are gonna think I'm old. Anyways, let's go to Data. So, Sunny V, unfortunately, is not very much known for Data, but I see the pattern. He looks into the health of the channel. In fact, the best way to just check Data is press this one button that I have. Oh shit, not this one. And compare Taylor Swift with a bunch of things. Am I right? Like cats. Very nice. Oh man. Also, you have these spikes, which is like, what happened? That's what you should ask yourself when the spike happens. Rebecca Black is a pretty cool one. It's just like one big spike. Oh wow, it's not even as relevant as Taylor. Barely popped out. I thought it was bigger than that. But Data is definitely interesting, but it requires context. If you just look at Data, you need to be able to break it down, understand what those spikes mean, what kind of events happened, and what the story is. And thankfully, there is a channel, this channel, that breaks down YouTubers, which he's stealing my job right now, and we're gonna have to punch him in the face at some point. So he looks at like the peaks and the downfalls of YouTubers, puts everything into context, and is just very satisfying. Is there anything else about Data? Well, there is. This thingy. I use vidIQ to understand whether people watched my videos or not, and so far they haven't, despite me releasing one video a year, which is called YouTube Rewind, guys. I hope you guys seen that one. I will explain later what it means. Anyways, that is like very handy, dude. Just seeing in real time almost, because you can see like last 48 hours. Every single end of the day it just updates, and it's really cool. You get to see the subscribers you gain, the minutes watched, the views, and then that's all you really need. I also care about this number. I hope you see it. You should be able to. Every single month collects its own watch time, and so far my peak was October. Now I'm just like, I guess I'm left wondering why. Because shouldn't I keep on growing, I'm gaining some subscribers, and that means, people do appreciate some of the content, so there's always something to watch, right? Well, I will never understand. But I do understand that I don't belong to any specific community and people can't define who I am and what I do and have no real expectations. And just because I make one video a year, I guess I'm not that exciting as a person. Um, but my point of view is just like I have to be useful, I have to be valuable. Just one video a year being valuable like that and peeking your head out, and I will always brag about it. You know, I will never stop commenting about it or whatever. And hopefully people discover that it's me who made YouTube Rewind after all. The best one at 2022. Because who else is gonna fucking sit here and explain their own rewind for like 5 hours, 6 hours at this point? Or maybe even more. Who, man? It's impossible. So it's definitely the best one. And maybe it will take a few years for people to discover that I even exist, Oh, wow. 'Cause it is. People do want to ignore someone like me. I'm a very controversial person. They want to ban me and keep me in the shadows as much as possible. But at some point, stuff will start leaking out, and I can't wait. So data is also a very interesting point, just to like observe your own reach and your own success on YouTube. Uh, and you do want to participate in YouTube ecosystem if you can. All right. Let's just keep going. So you can ignore everything else but the middle character, which is Cyrex, a Nightcore channel that has 5,000 points pretty much. So it's pretty crazy. All right, some pop artists release something called sped up versions of songs, and that's cringe because it's called Nightcore. It's not that difficult to understand. Even TikTok is now making Nightcore viral a little bit, but doesn't call it Nightcore still, which is weird. Yes, Nightcore also like includes pitching up the voice sometimes, oftentimes. But yeah, the idea is just to speed up the song to make it more interesting. To get more value out of a song. It's just that simple. It's not a deep concept. But what deep is about Nightcore is that first of all, it has all this free music technically. But that's not the cool part. Also, it cannot really just, have Nightcore versions of every song because copyright problems. But Cyrex is capable of uploading every single day, and just having this resource of actually good songs, or pop quality songs that are not actually pop songs, because you don't know about them, you wouldn't be able to discover them. But still, like, Nightcore is capable of making those obscure songs blow up sometimes, which is weird. But that's kind of the cool aspects. Sometimes it can ruin a song because the song is like too short already and it makes the song even shorter, but you don't really feel like it. Even if it's like 2-minute songs, it's fine. Maybe you wouldn't like the pitched up voice too much, but I just adapted to it. I don't see a difference almost anymore. I'm just numbed out. I'm sure Nightcore has more qualities, and again, just being able to put a category and a reason to just start collecting music and switching it to Nightcore all of a sudden. Uh, it was just a perfect combination to create the best and the biggest music channel I've ever seen in my life. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, Cyrix is a big deal, at least for me. And once you explore it, maybe it's gonna be a big deal for you, because you know a single artist can't compare with the collection of music that just keeps pumping out every single day. Like, are you kidding me? But obviously makes things more complicated because it might not be as good of a music, but it's still insane. Anyways, obviously pop comes next, right? No, everything is random here. Pop is probably one of the biggest communities and the most influential ones too. At least on my list. Because, all of these girls that I care about, they're on my thumbnails right now. They're just technically considered pop people, but they're celebrities. They kind of transcend as away from pop a little bit. That's what we expect them to do, to release music every now and then. But they can do different things, obviously. So, and actually, like, Taylor Swift herself, like, I think she sucks at making pop music. I don't know, dude. I don't like her stuff anymore. Maybe Reputation album was, like, the last time I actually cared. Yes, Bejeweled sounds nice, and it has dragons in it, so of course it's a good song. But, yeah, I pass. Also, is my microphone working? Thank God. I just said dragons, dude. Alright. It's deep. Pop music is definitely deep. There's a lot of artists, including this little thingy that kind of just broke Billboard simply because it was the only good song that I was able to find. But it was so good, it's the best song, and I had to feature it in YouTube Rewind without you actually knowing, because when I created a playlist of songs that were inside YouTube Rewind, plus 5 additional songs, this is one of those additional songs to let you guys as quickly as possible of how good this artist is, because she's 19. Yeah, 19, guys. So this sounds very promising to me. Is the only payoff I got from visiting Billboard 100. I don't know what people are obsessed about. I think music artists just care about data too much. Data. Everyone's addicted to data these days, to numbers. Me included. I'm probably one of the biggest dudes when it comes to data, after all, because I did this. The button clicker. It's fantastic, right? So I really care about numbers myself. But pop music definitely have surprised me how influential it is, and how I was kind of like a little bit oblivious, and I didn't care for a long time that this thing even existed. And then it just completely obliterated me when I started caring, so please do. We go to React channels. And there's this React channel as well, which included YouTubers React, Kids React, Teens React, all that cool stuff. I loved Leah. I actually featured her in YouTube Rewind this year for, like, weird reasons, right? No, she's in top 100, so it makes sense. And I have explained a little bit of that, so I don't have to dig deeper. But this React channel, though, that's interesting. Even just collecting YouTubers and making them react, like, all in one place. That's fucking fantastic, dude. Too bad right now it doesn't feel as exciting. It lost the core audience for sure. Can't hit 1 million views anymore. This is the only viral thing. Gen Z reacts to Slipknot. Ugh. And why is the viral thing so disgusting? K-pop? K-pop stars react? Oh, wow. That makes sense. So, I don't know, dude. It doesn't feel like it has the flavor that it used to have. It might even became politically correct or some bullshit like that. Because it does involve a lot of young adults who are just left-leaning as always. Vote, guys. Vote. You have the power to vote and decide our future, little kids. I'm sure nobody's going to be offended about that. But we have to dig deeper and let's talk about Sniper Wolf as well. Because I think she's doing wrong. I mean, you can react to a lot of things on YouTube, and that's kind of the core of making a React channel, is to connect with other people, hopefully, in other communities, and kind of like, this is the core of just tipping your toes in other communities to begin with. But Sniper Wolf decided, fuck that shit, I'll just react to TikToks every single day. And we'll never stop. And we'll never do anything else besides maybe look hot on some pictures every like 2 weeks or something. Or a month. That's it. That's the life of Sniper Wolf. Not very exciting, but it is a lot of content. I guess I can admire that. I'm making content every day myself. Congratulations. I can relate so much. But yeah, it's a cool place to start. If you have nothing to do, you just react. You know, you just start your channel as a React channel. It's a good place to start your YouTube career. If you run out of ideas, just maybe you have opinions. Maybe you're just gonna build your personality and based on what other people might want you to react to. I don't know. I don't think you can do that because I cannot do that. I cannot get any input from other people. I guess, you can call it the shutdown of YouTube. Only the popular kids now get feedback these days. But, yeah, you can just explore and react and see what happens. It's like a super basic concept. And, I kind of want to react to TikToks that I liked in the end of the month, every month, because they pile on and they give you quite a lot of interesting ideas to chew on. And I do appreciate that. I want to expand on those ideas, by all means. See what happens. So yeah, the React is kind of like a cool idea generator. You can connect with your audience a little bit, as long as you give your opinion about what you're reacting to, and just salivating and looking at the screen and emotionless and blank the whole way through, and then the video ends and it's just like super awkward. Like, what did I just watch? Did I watch the video that the person was reacting to? So I could have just watched the video instead and remove that salivating, drooling noob, that doesn't really exist the whole time. So you have to find that balance. So it's quite an interesting skill to develop. That's why I would definitely encourage people to start there. Anyways, drama. Only for hardcore people, guys. Yeah, this year was... I mean, Onision kind of was hot this year too, but he was hot the whole way through, honestly. The whole way he was tumbling down the stairs, so to speak, for like years and years. But that's what it takes to develop the skill for making drama. I mean, it's not easy. You have to be like generally a nasty person to create drama. I don't think I could do it necessarily. Other people could try and attempt to make drama out of me, but I will always be able to detonate it and just, you know, make it very awkward for people to interact with me, because I will, like, respond to most people. It's like, the moment drama happens, I'll just literally deconstruct their arguments and pick them apart. And I don't know if they can survive that one. So I'm a little bit too dangerous of a person to turn into drama target or whatever. But because Onision is not coherent enough and he cares a little bit too much, it's too easy to poke him and make fun of him. Similarly to, well, Gabby Hanna kind of cares a little bit too much, kind of just went off the rails, and now she's kind of justifying that it was just her promoting her music, and now I'm just like, that kind of works. That narrative kind of works. You can just say, I'm just promoting my shit. But what about Onision being a groomer? Well, it's kind of laughable that people think that being a groomer is like a terrifying thing that everyone should despise and poke fun of, or, you know, like, be very invested into that, into hating Onision because he's a groomer or something. Are you sure about that, guys? I have problems with that, to be honest. That seems nonsensical. I think people who make fun of Onision are less moral and less understanding of what the fuck they're doing than Onision himself. I think Onision's a pretty cool guy, which is, like, weird, right? Because that's the only way I was able to discover him, because he was just being bullied by the rest of the internet, and now I just respect him a lot. So, drama. I want more. I want more people to be sucked into the drama pool, because rescuing them is probably gonna be my most favorite hobby of all time. You know? Right now I can't rescue anyone, I can't reach anyone. Nobody cares, okay? Unless you have that million subscribbles and you can scream into the core of their soul, man, until they're like, oh, you called me. Okay, what do you want to say now? And then you have to scream that one meme that you want to say to them with the voices of millions of people, man, until they fucking watch a 1 hour explanation of what that meme means. And finally, like, you feel like you've rescued the person because you gave them at least the chance, a hand to hold on to. Some common sense that they're missing of why the drama is never really leaving them alone sometimes. So, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I'm very excited about that. 2 more to go. Help me, I want more drama. So, comedy, guys. I have a special thing I want you guys to see, because comedy is very complicated, but I think once you see Taylor Swift do some comedy, it's gonna clear things up. Hopefully, please don't copy strike me, okay?
Oh, like Dune's a big movie.
Also, the moment Taylor Swift shows up, it just but again, now you can see where it's going, right? Virgins are being abused because that's a funny thing to do. Haha, very cool. I'm sure nobody's gonna get offended, but that's the core of comedy usually, is to kind of deal with offensive material in a way that shines more light on it in a not really offensive way. Don't try to take things too seriously. Or it's just gonna be dry and not interesting enough. And it will be a long video like I do, long videos. But I still sprinkle some comedy because it feels cool to, twist things around. And again, it makes them more interesting. I feel like, John Oliver of 1 hour videos, which is weird, and every day. Okay, maybe John Oliver is gonna punch me in the face for that one, because he probably puts even a lot more work than I do. But it is what it is. Even in his jokes, I would imagine. But because you can anticipate his punchlines, I don't know, man. I wouldn't say that John Oliver actually makes comedy, by the way. That's not his thing. His thing is actually, kissing cabbages. That's a cool thing. But no, he breaks down like very important, technically politically charged stuff, but he breaks down bullshit, which is like what I like to do. He's stealing my job as well, man. God damn it. Nah, everyone's capable of stealing my job because I don't have one. But the moment I do have it, I don't think people can actually outcompete my thing. Like, it's ridiculously difficult. Like, it's one of the most unbelievable things that people will discover once I do blow up. And if I don't blow up, then I'm not a creeper enough, okay? I'm a sad virgin. Which I am too, so now I have to relate to this? What do I do, man? Is Kanye's worst nightmare. Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. It doesn't feel offensive because the comedy has to stay truthful and honest, but it has to be also packed with memes and punchlines. So it's like quick. It doesn't try to explain itself. Because it would be, again, very dry content if it tried to explain itself like I'm explaining my YouTube Rewind. God damn it. Because no one else is gonna do it because it doesn't have enough views. I would probably just sit there and just react to other people trying to break down my YouTube Rewind, but now I have to do it myself. I have to do everything myself. I'm the Ultra Shadows. I have to build everything myself. I have no power whatsoever to buy anything substantial. But I guess that's a good thing because I would probably buy something as shitty as Twitter, and I wouldn't. I don't want to make that mistake. So I'm just improving as a person as we go. So that's kind of the idea behind comedy. Again, I sprinkle a lot of comedy, if you can tell. I make fun of a lot of things if possible because it just gives an additional perspective, I would imagine. And again, you can say a lot of offensive things and turn it into a comedy, and it feels so much better that way. So much more approachable because you don't have to like take everything seriously to begin with. Even this is kind of trying to be like a serious thing here. Where like, look how much damage I've done. By the way, this is like his old girlfriend too, like smiling in a creepy way. There's not a lot of pictures of her, so this is like fantastic. It's one of the funniest memes I've done, especially when you know that this is 18 words because I simply first wrote the comment and then I counted the words and I'm like, oh, that was the prompt this whole time, guys. No problem. Also, it's last month I asked you because Jax Films slowed down on the releasing these videos or doesn't label them anymore properly. I'm not sure which case it is, but it sucks, man. Yeah, I could have I think he has numbers labeled, so maybe I could have double checked, but who cares? Now his dogs are pillows, and that's fantastic, whatever that means. And yes, this has nothing to do with being offensive sometimes. Sometimes you're just twisting reality and hoping that it's so twisted that it has like a new meaning all of a sudden. Like saying dad napped is like a weird word. It's so weird. Like it could mean something. And that's the funny thing, you don't know what it means, but you have like weird ideas. while he's generating reality. It teleports you to weird places, basically. And here you go, the final one. I don't. Do I? Yes, I will explain that one. Why not? But I already kind of did. I talked about porn a little bit. Um, yeah, these categories are very hard to crack down, but I think I did an okay job. It is a little bit awkward though, but porn is kind of the most awkward. But I still very much enjoy it for what it is. Sometimes when I feel like it, I'm not addicted to it. For some reason, it says that it's half of the internet is just porn. Uh, that's weird. But no, porn websites are not that popular. It's more like 10% interest compared to other websites, major websites. So it's just a weird need that men have to watch porn. To I imagine that is just trying to connect with beautiful women because just slowly magnetized, and you have to make choices. All right. So for me, masturbation is definitely a choice. Who do I care the most? Who gets my juice? It's a weird one. It's a weird way to put it, but that's how I feel like, man. Because slowly I get attached to these girls. I slowly care more and more. So it just kind of makes sense. And if um, I see something within them that I really like, and I just call it beauty, I don't care, man. I like being attached to this sort of mysterious value if it is mysterious. Is there anything deeper than that? So far, like porn is one of those topics everyone wants to stay away from, but at the same time, everyone is encouraged to make OnlyFans because they get a lot of cashies from that if they just uh, give themselves up to this insanity. But maybe there's a cool way to do it. But obviously there is. You just don't actually need to do porn. You just need to look beautiful, and that's the way to do it. In a cool way. Except you don't get really paid for that. But that could be fixed quite simply. You have your Instagram and you have your Sexygram or whatever. Where you look extra beautiful, you try extra hard, but you put a small paywall, and it's not a big deal. It's gonna get leaked. Yes, I'll take the leaks, but it's a cool way to earn money if you're desperate. I don't know. So porn is definitely something you have to be aware of and know why men care about it and how to attract men, because you promise something like that, you tease men, maybe it works. I don't know. Because it is a weird thing, but I've never seen like a celebrity do porn ever. Belle Delphine is the only person that could be considered a celebrity, and she did make music videos, which is very awkward, but gives her that special celebrity status, confirmed almost. But she also kind of feel like she got cancelled almost, or cancelled herself. Sunny V kind of broke that story down for us, which is ironic because I put them in the same meme, right, with the data meme. I put them together. It's so funny. So yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, it's actually going to be quite an event if someone like Belle Delphine appears again. Because what I'm really excited about is not watching porn, is watching porn stars trying to make real content on YouTube, trying to become real people and not just like dolls that get dicked. You know, like that's not very exciting to me. I want personality to shine through, and then the personality can get uh, obliterated basically in the world of porn if you want to, if you feel like it. If you feel like what you created is not like some kind of a saint thing, or like what is a holy thing that no dick should touch, may touch this girl publicly. Nuh-uh. I am now a royal being, an ultimate celebrity, untouchable. So porn stars should try hard to be relevant just like that. Some of them are, to some extent. Like now there are some TikTok stars who dibble and dabble into, well, straight up porn at this point. It's not easy to find them, but it's happening, guys. Also, cosplay porn is pretty cool. That's also evolving. So, this shit is gonna change by all means. Like, we didn't even had porn like 20 years ago or something. So, it's definitely gonna evolve into something weird. And eventually just interacting with people is porn enough eventually. But we'll never get to that point, because how can you exploit people by interacting with them, am I right? You're gonna get exploited yourself. Well, we'll see. You know, some people even pay for dates or something. What is that? I've never done dates, so I don't know why people pay for it. Yeah, okay, just kidding. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoy your cake. How much you got the cake. How much cake you got, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye. See you next time.